On the 21st and 22nd of June 2025, Aqours would perform their final live at the Belluna Dome in Japan. It was a greatly celebrated event that brought many old Love Live fans back for one last show. Aqours had many struggles due to COVID-19, halting many of their activities and scheduled plans. Some would say Love Live as a whole never really got back up from it, but regardless, they put on one last concert that made Aqours fans cry worldwide. I happened to watch it live with a bunch of my friends. Shoutouts to Logan, and I don't want to dox anyone, so here's a picture of Mia Taylor with a gun. Despite it saying final live, it's not like Aqours was getting gunned down and executed like how Muse was. They'll still be around in other concerts, subunits, ice cream and all that jazz. It's still bittersweet, but it's very obvious that this isn't the last time we're gonna see them again. In fact, it may be a lot sooner than we think. As the second group Love Live established, its decade-long history is one that's had impacts on not only people, but entire locations. There are analysis videos for that, but the intention is to tell you that Aqours was pretty popular. While it had a rough start with the transition from Muse, it arrived in a time where Love Live was arguably at its best in terms of how much content and coverage they had. The games, the anime, the many global events they had all over the world. As a Love Live fan myself that may or may not have made some small analysis on Love Live fans, I think it's very clear that Aqours means a lot to people, and one of the few last remnants of classic Love Live. If you even thought of Love Live back then, chances were that Muse and Aqours were the things you associated with it. Certain characters, certain songs, if you knew one, you knew the other, even if you weren't really into it. I mean, it was just two groups, and one came after the other brutally died, so I mean, you get to know them no matter what. Fast forward to past COVID and many years later, and you have all these other groups that are, oh shit, that's Love Live? Damn, I remember it was just Muse and Aqours. That isn't to downplay the other groups, of course. I've literally made videos praising them, so that's the last thing I want to imply. What I want to say though is now that Aqours is gone, one of the parts of classic Love Live, what happens now? What happens to Love Live as a company, as a brand? Will it affect content? Will it affect their popularity, their money? Now I already have my thoughts, as do you most likely. In fact, I've been closely monitoring the situation since when the final live was announced and when it happened. Not gonna lie, it was super fun. I feel like a secret agent anyway. The reaction to Aqours final live was one filled with sadness, and not just aw man, but more so, well I'm out. Many fans had the notion that after Aqours ended, they're gonna be done with Love Live as a whole, and that's not entirely surprising. Let's redirect ourselves back to what I said earlier regarding how large Love Live is. We have like 5 groups now with their own brand and content. That's a lot. Let's say you're a Final Fantasy fan. Does that mean you like Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 12? Fuck no, you're probably just a fan of 7. Now is that bad? No. Final Fantasy is huge and diverse, with so many casts of characters and slightly different gameplay styles that appeal to different people. It's just that they're under the Final Fantasy name, and you can probably guess what I'm gonna say next. With how big Love Live is, each one has their own appeals to certain people. For example, Nijigasaki is very individualized, with the group focusing on solo songs instead of a defined group. Some have a different number of members, and some have more unique songs. Hell, even the designs may have specific appeal to people. I'm not one to really have high requirements for character designs. I usually like how most characters look. But then one time someone called a Love Live character ugly with their bug eyes, and I almost laughed because of how accurate it was. What I'm trying to say is that Love Live ain't where it used to be. A lot of people have this mindset of how Love Live is dead because this group doesn't appeal to me, and although it sounds pretty simple-minded, it makes sense if they come from an older perspective. Love Live was small, everything was connected, and it was tight enough so that you couldn't miss out on any news and songs. It's just a natural consequence of becoming bigger and being a multimedia series. Not just multimedia in terms of the type of content they produce, but also multimedia as in multiple groups that have their own forms of media. Hasunosora with their app, Bluebird with Twitter, that part of Love Live has not changed. Now we can debate whether or not they've been doing it well, which is something I can slander them for hours because I really want Love Live to be at its best, but it comes into play when we talk about Aqours' departure. What happens when they leave? Well, outcome 1, nothing. Because of the different spaces Love Live occupies now, they essentially put their eggs in multiple baskets. Love Live fans who were only there for Aqours will probably depart from Love Live, or at least not be as engaged as they once were. However, there are still Nijigasaki fans, Leela fans, Hasunosora fans, Bluebird fans. We're growing up. The new generation of Love Live fans are coming in, and some may not even start with Muse or Aqours. They might just join in starting from newer groups like Leela and Hasunosora. You wanna know what made me feel old? When Aqours Final Live was happening, one of my mutuals, I won't expose them because I don't want them getting murdered, watched Aqours live, and when it got to one of the songs, they were like, oh, so this was the song Hasunosora covered. And I think I aged like 10 years hearing that statement. What do you mean the song Hasunosora covered? Don't you just mean the Aqours song? That single tweet just reinforces the different spaces of Love Live now. We aren't really united anymore, and any possibilities of that happening were very quickly stripped away. Someone can be a Hasunosora fan and not engage with the other parts of Love Life, and vice versa. If we want to talk about a possibility that will happen when Aqours somewhat retires, then this is one of them. Love Life won't fall apart and burn and die as if Aqours is holding the entire franchise down. Which I mean, in the right view it is, but I'm sorry. I hope you understand what I mean when I say that Love Life has multiple baskets now. It isn't killing a basket and adding a new one, no. Starting from 2017, they made the decision to start a group while a group was still active, creating the baskets we see today. It's important to remember your history and respect your elders. So while Aqours having their final live is depressing for Aqours fans, it doesn't mean the entire system will crumble. That's outcome 1 though, so let's move on to outcome 2, where I get to have a little fun with the things I say. Love Life received a sizable blow to its popularity and fanbase. This one requires a lot of context that can't be boiled down to, oh, new group's bad, or any other simple reason like that. What we need to acknowledge first is that Aqours has lived for about 10 years and was alive before, during, and after COVID. These 3 sections mark very different approaches Love Life had in terms of how they advertise themselves and what they gave to us as fans. I'm being very careful not to explicitly mention anything global related because that's a very different topic, especially when it comes to what overseas fans get and what fans in Japan get. One thing that I think everyone universally can agree though is that Aqours was thriving in the late 2010s. That period from 2017 to 2019 was one that was filled with Aqours. The games were still around, Aqours was having constant exposure to their lives not only in Japan but around the world. We still had poll voting for the singles if you remember that. It was shot after shot until that fateful year of 2020 when COVID came around and wrecked everything. From that point forward, the way Love Life operated changed, and its impacts are still being felt today. I'm not just talking about globally, even though I'm biased and want Love Life to have a presence over here. Love Life as a whole was affected by the pandemic, and this included Aqours. Lives that were planned had to be delayed, or worse, cancelled. Azalea's first live concert was intended to happen in 2020 before it got cancelled. Other concerts got cancelled too, such as their original 6 Live. That's a lot of money you're losing, and not only that, you're placing the year a bunch of other idol series pop up. Project Sekai, D4DJ, the Big Bang of VTubers, what the fuck? That's like tripping and randomly a million people spawn on top of you just kicking you down. There was a sense of needing to adapt to fit the current environment, and Love Life was placed in a tough spot because of it. The world revolving the idol genre as a whole was slowly changing, and what may have been acceptable back then possibly might not work now. Even the way we consume has changed, as it seems way faster and barely any time gets to be spent before the next big thing happens. It creates a heavy divide between the content produced pre-COVID and after COVID, because it dates Aqours heavily, even though it was only a few years that passed by. Now how does this relate to the outcome I predict? Well, it boils down to how Aqours is remembered. Aqours was the last bastion of Love Life before COVID, before it restructured itself, before it planned itself differently. It's an era of its time, and fans who were there for that era might feel a lot more connected to it because of the events that occurred. Once you sever that final link, you are ending that past generation, only leaving the new gen to experience the content produced after COVID, which has a very different strategy and structure. There's also been a sort of oversaturation of idol groups and idol-like things that make it so Aqours had a really good advantage back then, something that the later groups don't really have. And those mentioning Nijigasaki, I mean, I guess you're right, but they were just kind of in the back burners for a while until like late 2019. Listen, Nijigasaki, I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me. I don't know. Aqours didn't need to be that competitive back then. It was just them and their little cousin, and you didn't have all these other groups wandering around. Once you cut it off, you're no doubt losing a sizable portion that may or may not affect Love Life. But we're completely neglecting the popularity of Nijigasaki, the popularity of Layla, the popularity of Hasunosora, and the popularity of Bluebird, in which they may or may not have numbers similar or higher to Aqours, in which case Aqours dying has no effect. Who said that? Will there be a mix of the 2 outcomes I mentioned? Of course, I was mainly exaggerating for this video and going to the extremes of either side. Just between you and me, Love Life will be alright, but it can definitely do some things to help it become more alright, but I'll hold my horses for now. Nay. Oh, speaking of a series that knows how to advertise themselves, I gotta chill, bro, I'm sorry. There are probably other outcomes that will happen, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Love Life is not as small as we once thought, and it's okay to accept that it's gotten big enough to the point that it isn't just represented by one group or one song. I understand the pressure many feel that they have to catch up with every group, but like I said earlier, after COVID, things changed, and what was once this way is now that way, and sometimes it takes a bit to adapt. No matter what though, the impact of Aqours is felt among us, and that shouldn't take away any of the love we have for Love Life. And hey, this doesn't mean that Aqours fans will just die. If Muse fans are anything to go by, they'll still be around even if they don't engage with the content anymore. And get this, there's people who are fans of multiple groups, and when one group goes down, they still have other groups to be invested in. Shocker, I know. But with that being said, thank you for... Wait, hold up. I gotta take this call. Huh? Yeah? Wait, Justly? Oh. Apparently my trip from Anime EXPO is done. Wait, what did I do over there? That's right, I went to Anime Expo this year, and for this trip, I had a few video ideas that I wanted to execute, and all of them include interviews for Love Life. Now, bad news. I am extremely nervous in public, so the amount of interviews I was able to attain were few and far between. I need an extrovert with me to help me go for this. Despite that though, I was able to snag some interviews that shed some light on what other Love Live fans think of Aqours' departure. It's very important to note that I'm just one opinion, and even when talking about what other people think, it's in the lens of my own. Of course, don't harass anyone just for having a different opinion, yada yada. With that being said, here's what some Love Live fans think of Aqours' departure, and we'll do an analysis shortly after.
June or July of 2018.
A couple of years after they debuted.
For Aqours, I know them since day one.
Since about 2016, after Muse Finale.
2015, 10, 8 years, yeah.
2016, 2017, because I remember when I was like trying to get into Love Live the first time, I accidentally put the second season of Aqours instead.
Around in 2021, while Superstar Season 1 was airing. Every time Aqours says that they're going to make an announcement, there's a bunch of doom posters saying that like, oh, this is going to be their final live announcement. And then when it actually was, I was like, I can't believe they were right.
Oh gosh, I was sobbing. I was genuinely crying, and I really wish I could have gone to Japan to actually watch them, but it's really hard to get tickets, and as an American fan, it's really hard to actually go see them, but I hope they're doing well.
I kind of expected it already because I followed the seiyus on like X. It'll be like hard for them to like have like 9 of them together in the future.
Schedule-wise?
Yeah.
I was like, guys, they're not disbanding. They're just not performing. I'm coping.
Oh man, the morning that I saw the news, I started crying. As soon as I saw that all 9 members were gonna be in the Nama, I was like, oh no, I feel like an announced finale live.
I was pretty surprised, but at the same time, it was like, well, like how many years at that point? 10 years, yeah. And Love Live, I gotta give like props to them because I feel like they hold a lot of value and sentimental value. A lot of like it just reaches a lot of people's hearts, like such to an extent where just fully dropping them, it's like, yeah, no, that wouldn't do any good.
Well, the thing is, Aqours, like you said, they aren't fully retired. Numazu Matsuri is coming up. They're going to be doing, 3 days, 3 members each. And then the seiyus have their own personal thing. Anchan's actually improving on how much she's doing with her music career. So I'm actually kind of happy that they're doing that because it gives everybody more of a chance to do things on their own, while also giving members like Liela, Hasu, and Bluebird to be more focused on that.
I think that Love Live has made it clear they want to like prioritize the Japanese audience over the overseas audience, especially since after COVID.
I have a lot of thoughts about Love Live marketing lately. But I do think with Ice Cream's popularity, it's a bit of like a wake-up call, like, hey, you can do something with this. I believe that Ikazu Live will bring about a new game, like Civ 3 maybe. I'm like going on a bit of like a tangent, but the popularity of like Uma Musume, I think idol franchises as a whole can make a bit of a comeback. I know Uma Musume isn't like a direct idol franchise, but it's like in that space. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
I don't really think so. I think it's still going to stay popular. I think people are still going to cosplay them at cons. So I think it'll just stay normal as it is,
Okay, that I'm not entirely sure, especially with the other group, Nijigasaki. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's still going to be popular. Like, in terms of Aqours disbanding, I'm hearing that like some of them are going their separate ways doing their own like solos and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure it's still going to be popular for them.
Aqours is like the most popular, like it's their big money maker, and now there's I don't know, cause like Liela's popular, but I feel like Aqours always had more. I don't know. Yeah.
Since we're down to 2 groups that are globally, it's a little bit concerning about how they've been mistreating the global audience in general lately. Like,
COVID happened. So
COVID kind of like ruined everything.
I feel like it opens doors for more of the big new groups, like the recent one that's out, and like Lelia, and for them to shine more since Aqours is like finalized, done.
I think that with the Muse retiring as well as Aqours retiring, I actually think they're making a smart move by doing it because it's keeping their legacy alive without overshadowing previous legacies. And I actually think, despite me being upset that they're both gone and I can't really watch them anymore, I think it was really important for them to basically cut it at their height and basically cut them at their popularity to basically make it so that we appreciate them in the future and keep appreciating them despite them maybe kind of going into obscurity and like continuing way too long past their prime. So I'm really glad that they were able to make an impact in me and be able for me to still cosplay them like 10 years later. So
Alright, some notes here. Some of the interviews gave pretty good points regarding how Aqours isn't fully dead / why Aqours was dead to begin with. It's most likely because of their contracts ending similar to how Muse ended, but one thing that's made Aqours' case more unique is the fact that almost all of the Aqours members are out doing their own thing. Even before the final live got announced, many of them had already gone to solo music careers, so they aren't really dead, and with the Love Life Fest coming around it's even more apparent. It isn't like Muse, and that should be reinforced, it's just their last live altogether. The Nico cosplayer had a pretty good point about cutting Aqours at their highest instead of letting them fade away before cutting it loose. After COVID, you could reasonably say that Aqours sort of faded away because of events quite literally ruining their day over and over. It's one thing to end something right when it's about to reach its peak, but it's also another to end something after it's had its time to shine. The worst fate someone can have is dying before it's officially considered dead. Some people's perspectives definitely made it less bittersweet, considering the decade-long activity they had. Also, I had to cut an interview out because the recording was really bad quality and I didn't get the finished interview, so I'm sorry to this Chica cosplayer that actually recognized me from YouTube. They literally gave me a Rina Tenoji drawing. I'm so sorry. Now to some other points. A lot of reactions tended to lean towards outcome 1, which makes the most sense. I won't reiterate all my points, but like I said, multiple eggs in multiple baskets. What helps support my point regarding how separated these groups are now are some of the people I interviewed. Some were heavy Aqours fans, Nijigasaki fans, Layla fans, Muse fans, and some of them I noticed stay in their lane. Some didn't really show a heavy level of investment into Aqours, and being clear, that isn't a negative thing, but just shows how big Love Life is, connecting it to my previous points. I mean, I'm a bigger Nijigasaki fan than Aqours and any other group, so like, my bias is pretty clear. Because of that bias though, the outcome for what happens is more uncertain. If I'm just a Nijigasaki fan and I see Aqours retire, I'm gonna assume nothing will happen since Nijigasaki is still alive. But if we go off what the Cuckoo cosplayer said, there may be a chance that Aqours' numbers are way higher than Liela or Nijigasaki, so having them be gone might have some sort of impact. One of my friends Memo brought up the same concern, saying that Aqours was their biggest cash cow, and with how many idol series there are like Project Sekai, the other groups are gonna need to step up. They aren't in the lucky position of Aqours where all the other shit wasn't around. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab the analytics for this video, so I'm just gonna say, perchance. But being real for a second, don't always treat anything you hear on the internet as fact unless given solid proof. Sometimes I just be saying shit, so just keep your mind open. Everyone fucks up occasionally. With how much misinformation is spread now and people not fact checking, it's really important to identify facts and interpretations of said facts, or opinions in general. Most of this video has been my interpretations on events that have happened to Aqours and why I think said outcome will happen. And it may or may not be the same interpretation you land on. I'm sorry if this came out of nowhere, but recently I've been seeing people give up thinking for themselves with AI, and guys, please think for yourself, just please. Back on track though, one of the people I interviewed, Maida, had some interesting points to say regarding what happens after Aqours retires regarding the global state of Love Life. I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but I swear it is interesting. I had to cut bits of it, but Maida and I had a discussion regarding how Love Life is in a very unique situation. They have two groups that have some global presence, with the other two being primarily just for Japan. There's definitely been mishandling the way global fans have been treated, but the core of it is now that Aqours is gone, which was the group that had the most global presence, it raises concerns for what happens to us. I made a lot of errors in my original Love Life popularity video, including mixing up accessibility with advertising. Because while things are a lot more accessible, the way it's been advertised does not help increase its global fan base in any way. Like my friend Mio said, it's pretty clear to prioritize in Japan, which I don't blame them for. That's their decision. But holy shit, I need to talk about this. Ice Cream barely had any presence at Anime Expo. All they had was giving out stickers and having the video play on a projector. That's it. Motherfucker, you had a worldwide phenomenon in the grasp of your hands and you did nothing with it. And I have to mention Uma Musume because this IMU cosplayer did as well. Everything from the advertising to the publication by both fans and the company themselves was done so well. It wasn't something blipped on and off a radar, no. There was build-up, anticipation, and a large amount of effort to make sure as many people could get into it as possible. I want to talk more about it in its own video, but it just makes me sad when I see what Love Life has done. And I do want to make this note here since it's been weighing on my mind. Ever since I released that Love Life popularity video, I felt a little guilty whenever I talk about the global popularity / anything really negative about Love Life. Some of the reactions to the the video had me questioning whether or not I was just going crazy, and Love Live was perfectly fine. But after Aqours Finale Live, and especially after Uma Musume, I feel that I should make my thoughts clear. I really love Love Live, it's important to me, and I apologize for tapping into my inner Sonic fan when I say this, but when you see something you love constantly making mishaps and not making the best decisions, don't you want them to get back up, recover, and be at their best? Honestly, the worst thing someone could do is see something that's going bad, and just let it keep going down that path. I'm someone who's pretty engaged with most of the Love Live groups, so my viewpoint is obviously skewed to look at Love Live as a whole instead of just one group. If you're just invested in one group, then you likely won't have many issues, and maybe that's how it should be now. Aqours' retirement now marks a new era for Love Live and discussion of it, and I hope Love Live knows what to do now that Aqours is partially gone, both for its Japan audience and also, global overseas. The fate of Love Live lies unknown, and I don't know the answer because I'm really just one person. Also, if any Bluebird fans are watching this, take this exclusive clip I got.
Because Hasu is like Japan only.
And
even Bluebird is like
only Twitter post right now.
Yeah, right now it's Japan only. I actually asked the Lantis staff. He said,
Wait, who? Yes, who?
the staff from Lantis, the Bandai music label. I asked him, will Bluebird come out globally? He told me, stay tuned, and that was all he said. I'm like, is that a yes or a no? I don't know.
You see, these are the perks of journalist noodle in action. Pretty cool.